Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at two champions, Iron Man Infinity War and against Hulkbuster, and we're going to decide which champion is actually better. As you can see, the health on this guy is 22,504. He's a rank 4 5-star awakened champions. He has some synergies with some of the best champions in the game, making him very, very versatile. Again, very difficult champion to attack in Alliance War. As you can see, his crit rating is 31.6, crit damage is 187.5. He has an armor rating of 23.5 and a block proficiency at 72.5. Now, again, what is very good about this guy is we have to look at that passive. He needs to be awakened, because while 15% health or less remains, the Iron Man is under the effects of an armor effect. The suit generates 4.25% power per second and has 100% chance to auto block attacks without consuming armor. This auto block triggers parry, and that is what devastates a lot of people in the gameplay when attacking him in Alliance War. Again, he has full immunity to bleed and cold snap, whilst that armor is modular armor is effective. If the armor is not up, he is going to take damage from cold snap, and he is going to take damage from bleed. We're going to demonstrate that in the gameplay, because we're going to get some hits and we're going to take some damage, just to show you that he is not bleed immune. He's only bleed immune partially or part of the time if that armor is up. Now, he has a lot of SPs, SP1, SP2, SP3 that does a lot of damage, and we're going to demonstrate that in the gameplay. But let's take a look at the Hulkbuster. Hulkbuster health here is 24,784, so it's a little bit higher than the regular Iron Man Infinity War. Again, he has some great synergies as well with a lot of members, and so synergies are not the problem with these guys. These guys both have synergies, so they'll be a great asset to the team. The difference is, while in Iron Man Infinity War has that auto block proficiency, the awakened Hulkbuster, he has a 100% chance to activate a self repair lasting 12 seconds, recovering in this case, because of his synergy, his sig level, 6,000 health once he's below 15%. So anytime he goes below 15% in a fight, he's going to regenerate 6,000 plus health over 12 seconds. And if he's in Giant Buster mode, he's going to have an additional attack rating while he's regenerating that health. And then Iron Wall, he is going to be 24% self repair proficiency. He's going to get even more health when he's on defense. So again, two great abilities with the Hulkbuster. Just to give you, his crit rating is 14.3. Remember, Iron Man's crit rating was 31.6. His critical damage is 152.1. Iron Man's critical damage was 1875, which is much higher. His armor rating is 28.5. Armor rating for Iron Man Infinity War was 23.5, and his block proficiency is 56%, while Iron Man's Infinity War block proficiency was 72.5%. So again, very good stats. He has Iron Man Infinity War arguably has a better armor rating and stuff like that because of that suit. But what makes this Hulkbuster devastating is his attacks. His special attacks are unblockable. That's right, unblockable. He has a heavy that shocks, and then you chain that in with a SP1 that is unblockable, and you can go all day doing damage with this Hulkbuster. SP3, unblockable buffs triggered during the firing of the SP3 as well. So again, this guy is an absolute beast But again, you have Iron Man Infinity War, you have HULKBUSTER. Where do we put the resources in first? Who do we give it to? Again, special attacks, 100% in chance to inflict an armor break, armor up buff, and reducing armor rating by 3000 plus, and 100% chance for it to be unblockable. So here we go. Again, health 24,798 with the attack rating at 1857. Rank 4, same, so both of these champions are rank 4, and we're going to decide who should we take up first. Do we invest in Iron Man Infinity War or HULKBUSTER? Both are very, very good defenders. In my opinion, Iron Man Infinity War is going to be a little bit more annoying than HULKBUSTER to defend in Alliance War, but for attack, it just might be the opposite. But let's see how the attack goes. Let's see what damage is going to be inflicted here. And we have Iron Man Infinity War up first. As you can see, we're going to fire off the heavy, and we immediately get an armor break. We're going to fire it off again. Now we stack that armor break up to 2. So this is stackable armor breaks going on here. His block proficiency is perfect right now. We're gonna fire that SP2. Well, we're gonna go straight in for the SP3, sorry. Let's see if we could armor break him before we go into the SP3. Boom. 95%. And he's still at 95%. And he's still at 95%. So that SP3 is not doing a whole lot of damage. We've seen other champions do a lot more, 2-3% damage with an SP3. So not a whole lot of damage on the SP3. SP1 is unblockable and applies that shock damage over time, which is pretty good. Not a whole lot of champions are able to be immune to shock damage. So here we go. Gonna fire off the unblockable again. We're gonna get that armor break going. Again, we have the modular armor is not up, as you can see. So if we were to get hit with those bullets from Winter Soldier, we will be taking some bleed damage. But we're going to demonstrate that in a second when we decide to go take him down to the 15% to see how that health rejuvenation works. Again, armor break, he had a 2000 crit rating on that one. Again, 81%, so SP2 is doing a lot more damage than the SP3 did for some reason. And it did apply some armor breaks on him as well. Now we have the modular armor. This is where the armor up is in effect, and he is not going to take any bleed or cold snap damage, and that is what he's immune to. Bleed and cold snap. We're going to fire up the SP2. No, sorry, that was a heavy. We're going to fire up the SP2. 76%, 75%, and we put him into stun, where we could fire up an SP1 again and get down to 74%. So the combination of SP2 that does a stun and then go into the SP1 or heavy attack does a little bit more damage, I would say, than getting up to the SP3s. You have that damage over time being applied all the time as well. The shock and the armor break, you keep those going and you're going to do a lot more damage. You're going to fire up that heavy attack, which does the armor break. And let's see, we have 3 stacks of armor right now. We're going to fire up the heavy again. We get 2 stacks of armor break on Winter Soldier. We're going to fire up the SP2, which only took him down to 1% in this case. So Iron Man Infinity War is very durable. I don't know how much damage or how much devastating the damage is, or as an attacker. We know for sure he's devastating as a defender on Alliance War, and he's hard to to attack into, especially when he gets down to that 15% mark. And that, I think, is where he takes out most of the people, and he gets the highest kill ratio when he's under 15%, and that auto block kicks in. But as you can see, that SP2 triggers that stun sometimes, and that is where you're able to fire off on a heavy and get into the gameplay. But we have him down at 54%, and we are only at 87%, so we're not taking a whole lot of damage. Keeps us in the gameplay. So our attacks might not be devastating or doing a whole lot of damage very quickly, but we are sustaining health. We have that here we go. Our armor is out. Okay, we just got back 2 stats, so we're gonna still be bleed and cold snap immune. Fire up the SP1, which is always unblockable and nice to apply that shock, and I think that is where he does most of his damage over time. It'll be interesting to see how many hits it's going to take down this Winter Soldier. It seems a bit long right now compared to the HULKBUSTER, which has that unblockable SP1 and shock on the heavies. He has his shocks on the SP1, and he's doing like almost 400 damage with the shocks right now. 400, let's say 384. So we'll compare that to HULKBUSTER and see what damage he does with the shocks. There we go. Both of them armor break on SP1. He armor breaks with his heavy. There we go. We're gonna reapply that break. We're gonna get Winter Soldier down now to under 33%. And then we're gonna start taking some damage and see how much damage this Infinity War guy can actually take. He's very easy to fight with, he's very easy to control, everything fires off really nice, it feels good. His SP2 is amazing. Just feels good to fire that off with the armor break this building. He has the incinerate and he has the stun. We have that SP1 following up, doing some damage. So once we stack the armor breaks, we're actually doing a whole lot more damage. So we're gonna get that shock dealing some damage as well. He's down to 24%. So yeah, Iron Man Infinity War is definitely geared towards defense. In Alliance War, he's going to be doing so much damage if he's fully ranked up. I really want to take this guy up to rank 5, but again, I'm not sure I want to do that because we have HULKBUSTER, and HULKBUSTER is not going to be as annoying to fight in for defense. But maybe I don't want to use him for defense. Maybe you want to use him. Although he's a defensive tank, you might just want him to do some serious damage with attack. And they both have very good synergies with different team members, so that's not an issue. They're going to both be doing what they need to do on the team and pulling their weight. So the damage output on both of them is pretty good. Iron Man Infinity War is down to 64%. Alright, let's see if we could take some damage now and bring him down and see how that auto block works. Or maybe we'll do that with the HULKBUSTER and see how that regen works. We already know how that auto block works with this guy. But as you can see now, the shield is done and we're taking some damage. So let's take him down to 15%. We might as well just take him down there now. Come on, let's do it. There you go, 15%. Auto block is on, and this is where he's gonna get most of his kills. We're gonna fire up the SP2, armor break, armor break, armor break, incinerate, stun. I mean, this is where this guy really puts in the work, and that auto block is just beautiful. And here we go. Lights out. Winter Soldier. Let's see what that hit count was. Seems like a lot. And he is at 440 and 31 hits received. So he received 31 hits, but again, for most part of that fight, he was bleed immune until we let the armor go and we took the hits. So there you go. Iron Man Infinity War definitely have a fantastic champion. So worth the rank up. But when it comes to limited resources, we have new players, new members. Where should we put that resources into first? Both deserves to be fully ranked up. Every champ is deserving of being fully ranked up. But Iron Man Infinity War against the Hulkbuster. Let's take the Hulkbuster, and you see we come in as Jan Buster right now because we're on attack. If we were on defense, it would be Iron Wall. Here you go. The heavy applies the shock. The shock is about 59, 73. And he has a couple stacks of that going as well too. Armor break guaranteed, unblockable, and armor break on the SP1. So you feel good anytime you have. There you go, armor break. We could hit stun. I want to chain 2 stun heavies into there to get some more shock. 2 stacks of shock going. We could fire off the SP1 again and it'll be unblockable. 1, and that's a little bit too late there with that second. So you really need to fire off that heavy as soon as we fire off the SP1 to get that double 1. We're going to be short again. So we're going to fire off the SP1 and then stun and then stun. There you go. You got to be really quick on that second one, but to get that second one in, you got to be quick on the first one. So you could get in 2 heavies after you do that SP1 and chain that. Now let's do the SP2. What does that do? It power locks the opponent and armor breaks them, but only for a very few seconds. Not a whole lot of power lock there. As you can see, he's already gaining power. So I don't know how effective that power lock is. It doesn't really make too much sense in my opinion. But the armor break is good, the effects are good, but I would prefer the SP. Here you go, the heavy. We're back to SP2. Power lock does some serious critical damage there, a lot more damage. As you can see, Winter Soldier is already at 62% in a lot less time than using Infinity War Iron Man. Here we go. So we're playing around with a champion right now. Now let's see how to use him effectively. That shock. Now let's fire that SP3 or SP2, sorry. That's 57, 56%. That power lock, which is completely useless in my sense. I don't understand the power lock. That power lock should be a little bit longer to be useful. There's no way that's I gotta wait and avoid his hits to even use that power lock. Can't get in any hits there while that power lock is in. So let's fire that SP3. He's at 51%, 49, 47%. That's 4 percentage points. That is one of the most devastating SP3s I've seen. Definitely a whole lot better than Iron Man Infinity War. That alone is pretty much worth it. It's just wrecking killer. Here you go. SP, okay, go to heavy, apply the shock. And it's nice to know at any time you could just fire on SP1 and SP2 is going to be unblockable. It's going to do its job. But let's see that SP3 again, man. That is just beautiful. Let's see. He's at 35%, and we're gonna fire it off. Here we go. 32%. So he's averaging 3 to 4% on that SP3 damage, which is a whole lot of damage when it comes to bringing down a Winter Soldier in this gameplay. Now he's not bleed immune. Hulkbuster is not bleed immune, but he does reduce bleed and poison by 25%. So he takes a lot less bleed and a lot less poison. Whereas Iron Man Infinity War takes full damage from poison. So Poison Champion or Poison Lane is not the right place for him. He's going to get wrecked. Someone like Man-Thing is going to destroy him with poison over damage over time. Here you go, Hulkbuster again. 18%. Now he was at 19%. He's down to 17%. So about 3-4%. Plus he has that armor break and shock going. So let's bring him down to 15% and see how that regeneration goes. I'm gonna bring down Winter Soldier a little bit lower. Here we go. We're gonna take some hits. Take the hits. We want to get on. There you go. And now the regeneration is up. We're gonna back off and see that regeneration. We should get 6,000 health within 12 seconds, and it's going. And we back up to almost 40%, which is not bad. We're just gonna wait for that SP3, should we? Here you go. He's at 7%. And so guys, I'm gonna call it without even seeing the hits. I know we did this a lot less hits than we did with the Iron Man Infinity War. I'd invest in Hulkbuster before we did any rank up for the Iron Man Infinity War. I think he does the job that he needs to do with defense anyway at rank 4. I wouldn't need to take him up to rank 5 before Hulkbuster goes to rank 5. 241 hits with 32 hits taken. So same amount of hits taken, but we did it in half the time. So definitely Hulkbuster for this one. Please leave your comments below on what your comments are and thoughts are on this fight. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay. And remember, work less, play more, and enjoy life. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.